So welcome everybody. As tradition has it, we did not want to let our annual kindergarten readiness event for the community get waylaid by our pandemic. And thankfully, the Glen Ellen Public Library and Miss Katie, who is an excellent resource, offered to partner with us on the technology. And then we requested Dr. McCluskey and Dr. Kingsfield of our local public school districts to join us. As many of you know, in the past, we've had both public schools and private schools. With this platform, we felt that would be a bit too much. So Dr. Kingsfield and Dr. McCluskey agreed to put together a presentation. And tonight, this is it. It will be recorded. So if you know someone who was not able to join us live, they will be able to access that. And Katie, if you want to tell us about that briefly and the question and answer time, and then we can begin our program tonight.
All right, so I am gonna throw a poll at you. This just gives us an idea of who we have in the audience. So just let us know there which one applies to you. And while we're doing that, if you emailed me a question, that question has been forwarded to either Dr. McCluskey or Dr. Kingsfield, and they will reach out directly to you after our program with those answers. So please don't feel like we've ignored your questions. We're really trying to address them on a personal basis tonight. So know that those answers are coming, and some of those things that you have asked will address naturally during this program also. The recording will be posted on the Glen Ellen Public Library's Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And we also have captions down at the bottom if you need them. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think so.
I don't think so, Katie.
All right, so it looks like we have about 60% District 41 families, 10% District 89 families. A big chunk is our educators in the room. Thanks to all of you for all you've been doing this year. And then we have about 5% of a private school, and then 8% are other. So I'm going to end this poll. Thank you so much. And I am going to let Dr. McCluskey introduce herself.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Katie McCluskey. I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Teaching, Learning, and Accountability for Glen Ellen School District 41. And I don't know why, I think because the poll is still going, I can't change the slides. Let's see, there we go. All right, Dr. Kingsfield, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Jill Kingsfield, Assistant Superintendent for Teaching and Learning at District 89. And it's great to be here with you all this evening and to see some new faces.
So we thought we would start with the big question that a lot of parents are asking, and that is which skills are important for a child in kindergarten to be able to do independently. And so things that we would like to see our students coming in with some practice in is really, practicing those fine motor skills. Things such as holding a pen, holding a pencil, being able to use scissors, being able to zip and button their coats and practice tying their shoes, letting them turn the pages of books instead of us turning pages for them. And then their ability to be able to open containers, packages, and their drinks at lunchtime. For practice with gross motor skills, we look for students to be able to sit on the carpet, maintain their personal space, which tends to be more important now than ever, and also being able to carry their own backpacks. So even as they're going into preschool now, it's best to allow them to carry their backpacks into school and carry their backpacks home so that they get used to doing that independently. Also having the ability to ask and answer questions from an adult. Being able to button their pants or unzip their pants themselves to be able to use the bathroom independently, putting on their coats and jackets. And then we do a lot of work in kindergarten with learning how to share with others, cooperative play, being able to play together and take turns, follow directions, And then being able to handle frustration or conflict between their peers is something that we definitely work on in kindergarten. And I know they work on in preschool as well.
Great, thank you. So kind of adding on to that and kind of that that gradual release of responsibility as parents that we do with our children. You know, what is important for you to do to help your child be prepared for kindergarten? So some of the things that we consulted with our kindergarten teachers and with our instructional coaches as far as what you could be doing, reading with your child. And again, having them turn the pages, as Dr. McCluskey had said, encouraging their independence and just fostering that with them, providing experiences such as going for walks. And granted, during the pandemic, I know that I've seen in my neighborhood a lot of families going on walks. While you're on walks, counting and sorting objects, looking for colors while you're walking in shapes that are all around us, and just in our natural environment as we're out and about with our children, because that just gives them some good foundational skills. Playing games that they don't always win. That's a key skill in kindergarten because, you know, we all like a good win, but I think teaching them that it's okay to not always win is really important. Asking your child about their day, just finding some question stems that you can use with your child to just debrief on their day after they've been to preschool, or just if they've just a regular day, how was their day? Establishing routines and schedules, which I'm sure many of you have in place, and some of your kiddos probably are asleep as we speak. Bedtime and morning routines are super important. Getting dressed, being able to zip and button their own clothes, brushing their own teeth, washing hands, etc. And then fostering self-help skills like getting dressed, eating, and going to the bathroom. And then, you know, just helping them realize that there will be productive struggle in life and around these things, and that it's okay sometimes to struggle and get frustrated, and just how we manage that frustration, and just modeling that for them. So I think that's good for now.
I'm stuck.
Are you stuck?
Yeah, I don't know what, there we go. So both of our districts truly embrace parent involvement. And that's something that we hope that all of our parents engage in within our communities and within both of our schools. Some of the ways that that can happen is through joining the PTA associations. And as new kindergarten parents, you'll get lots of information about how to join the PTAs at the different schools. Also attending parent-teacher conferences and engaging with the teachers in conversations about your child's strengths and things that they're working on within the class. Participating in school events. Both districts have lots of evening events that occur throughout the year. And so we love to see all of our families participating in those events. Taking advantage of classroom volunteer options. Our classrooms have classroom parties. They have events throughout the year that they're always looking for volunteers for field trips. Participating in parent education opportunities. Both of our districts have events that provide more information to parents on things such as technology or safety use of technology, report card trainings, you know, things that will help you to better understand the school and the district and the learning that's occurring in both districts. And then also communicating with your child's teacher. Anytime you have any concern or a celebration, our teachers always want to be there for you, for your child, and support them the best that they can. So we always ask that you communicate with the teachers on anything that you feel would be important for them to know.
So the next piece that we want to talk about is just the importance of social and emotional development, and that it's essential and a priority in kindergarten, and just developing those skills and working through them. So in our kindergarten classrooms in both districts, we work on building strong classroom communities. The first weeks of school, really and truly, much of the time is focused on just building that community. Creating opportunities for peer-to-peer relationships, focusing on conflict resolution, as we mentioned earlier, learning to listen and take turns at listening and being good listeners, learning to follow directions, managing our emotions and our feelings, frustration, anger, and disappointment, and putting that in perspective in a 5-year-old or 6-year-old way, solving problems and how we work through that problem solving process as our little friends do, building resiliency, and then developing fair ways to play and invitations to play. And one thing, since that resiliency word is on that slide, I just want to highlight for you as parents. I wonder if you're thinking, how will my child adapt? And what we found this year through all of the challenge that we've gone through is that our littles are really super resilient, and they have done a phenomenal job of managing any situation that's come their way. And I can say from my perspective, and I would imagine Dr. McCluskey would say the same thing, we're really proud of our kindergartners because they have come in and they have learned to do school and they've done that remotely and they've done that in person. And hopefully we'll be able to get to in person. We're hoping for some sort of normalcy in education again, but I have to tell you, this year they have made it work and they're doing a phenomenal job at it and really have bounced with it. So I just wanted to highlight that for you.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Our kindergartners have definitely adapted and adjusted and have really enjoyed coming to school and the learning that's occurring. These next couple of slides, we had a lot of questions around what does literacy look like in kindergarten? What does math look like in kindergarten? So these next few slides are just going to talk a little bit about the content areas of literacy and math. The first one, obviously here being literacy. Both of our districts use a balanced literacy approach. We embed comprehension skills, phonics, sight word recognition, writing happens daily in all of our activities. And oftentimes we use the same text multiple times. And you'll hear that described as shared reading within our schools. So it won't be uncommon for you to hear your child talk about the same text multiple times or have activities related to that. A lot of our parents really want to know what the end of the year expectations need to be. What level does my child need to be at by the time they are ending their kindergarten year? And I think what both of us want to stress to everyone is that you'll hear both districts use FMP, Fontes and Pinnell, and you'll hear teachers talk about reading levels. And the one thing we want to stress is that a reading level never defines a child. They can be at multiple levels at the same time. And so it's important to keep that in mind when you're looking at levels and approaching text. And sometimes a child might be reading a text fluidly, but their comprehension may still need some additional support. And so you'll hear teachers talk about those different levels, but we've included a link here within the presentation, and everybody will have a copy of this presentation if you'd like it, and you can click on the different links in here. And this particular link does define for you the different levels students are at from kindergarten through 5th grade. And you'll notice there's a range of what you can expect here from your kindergarten readers. The expectation by the end is there's a hope that they're at a level D. And these are the kinds of questions and supports here that you can utilize while you're reading a text with your child. We want to be able to have students make predictions about the text. We want them to try to guess what's going to happen by the end of the text and be able to tell us what happened at the beginning, what happened in the middle, what happened at the end of the story. So those are things that you could easily be practicing at home while you're reading with your children that can further enhance their reading comprehension in kindergarten. Also, building their vocabulary, have your child point to each word as it's read aloud. Ask your child to read the sight words that are on the page. Ask your child to point and read to action words such as run, play, go, so that they're really engaging with the text and they're actively learning at the same time. Also asking them to connect to the world as you're looking at different characters in a text. Who does the character remind them of and why? What connections to other books can they make? You know, can you make connections to multiple texts? That's something that we practice in the kindergarten. And then just reading every night. We can't stress that enough, that reading is essential for our students, and the more practice they have, the better readers they become. And you'll notice in here also, there's different text titles as sample text so that you can kind of get a gauge of what a level D text looks like, and then what a level E, so entering into first grade, what that would look like. I guess I would stress to you, please don't run out and buy these texts or run out to the library and make sure you have all of these texts. These are not mandatory reads for our students. These are literally just samples that Fontes and Pinnell put together so that you could see the different texts, fiction and nonfiction, at these different levels. But there is no expectation that students read these particular texts for any reason. Now let's see if we can get out of this and back to the presentation.
That's always the trick.
I know. Oh, look at that. Okay, here we go.
There we go. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about mathematics. You know, mathematics is taught in a variety of ways through direct instruction, independent practice, sometimes partner practice. At some point in time, they might be able to use manipulatives to do, mathematical, to just figure things out and problem solve and make predictions about mathematics. And we like to make it very hands-on for students, just because with kindergartners, it's important that they're just making sense of their world, and mathematics is all around us, no matter what. Oftentimes we'll do a core lesson and then activities that reinforce what we're learning. We might do mini lessons and then practice those skills and then do another mini lesson. And then, oops. Oh, hey. There,
I don't know what just happened.
It looks like you lost the presentation.
PowerPoint.
So anyway, I'll keep talking.
Okay, you keep talking, I'll find it.
Activities that reinforce what we're learning with the kiddos and opportunities to revisit previous learning. Like Dr. McCluskey spoke of a little bit earlier, you will hear your children talking about the same texts. We will do the same thing with mathematics because we're constantly looping back around and revisiting topics. We call that scaffolding. And just because it's important to reinforce those things and continue to reinforce those things, probably like you're already experiencing with your preschool. So ultimately, mathematics learning might be a little bit different than we all experienced in school, because it's really looking at math conceptually, especially at the kindergarten level. And both districts just use a variety of tools to get to that and to help students understand their world mathematically. And then the other piece before we watch this really awesome quick video is just getting students, our kindergartners, to talk about mathematics. And when they are working with their peers and using their language to be able to describe math and problem solve through it, it really is fun to see that. And oftentimes when they're using the manipulatives to do that, whether it looks like little Lego cubes or whatever that might be, it really is just amazing to watch them make sense mathematically of their world. So we do have this this quick video that we want to share with you called Math Fun at Home, and hopefully you will find it helpful as well.
We can't hear the sound.
Does this video have sound with it?
Can you not hear it?
We can't hear it,
Hear
Katie.
it.
Well, let's see if,
Is the sound on your computer way down?
let's see. Does that work?
It's still really quiet. Do you want to try sending it to me? And I can see if I can wrangle it
Yeah.
into the chat. That might
Technical
be-
issues, never a dull moment.
We're
Right.
This is
adapting.
the resiliency that we experience and that we practice with our kiddos, is that sometimes things don't always work out as we planned. So we pivot and we make it work, right?
And
Absolutely.
thank you for letting us know that you couldn't hear that, because it's important for you to hear it.
Do I have the chat button?
You should. Here, let me,
Mm,
I'm going to chat you. So then
Let's see. Well, let's try this.
maybe.
Did you get that?
I did get that.
Okay.
All right, now I can hear it. Let me share my screen.
Or I'll stop sharing.
Thanks everybody for your patience. I love to see your kids in, some of you have your kiddos in listening too, so we're loving seeing them.
Yeah, can you hear that when I play it?
No.
No, let me play it again.
There's an option on Zoom that with playing your computer sound, you need to share computer audio. I think it's with the microphone settings.
Ew.
That's good advice. Is that better?
Very, very,
When you stop sharing and then you reshare, right before you share, there should be like a share audio.
Okay, I'm gonna stop share. Thanks for all your tech help,
look
everybody.
at this teamwork.
Share screen, and if we cannot get this to play, we will send it to you. There's always that option.
It is in the PowerPoint, so everybody can play it on their own if we can't get it to work.
Okay, I have my speakers. Let's try this.
Young children are naturally curious about math. Instilling a love for math while they're
Maybe you
young
could expand your screen.
Yes, but you can hear it now?
Kind
Better.
of.
And we will still send that to you even if you can't hear it. And I'm gonna make sure my volume is all the way up. If I can find my volume.
pushing a foundation for the rest of their school life. This video explores 2 evidence-based strategies for helping your kids learn to love.
It's pretty faint, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't really hear it.
Yeah. We can just send it out, Katie. That's
Will
fine.
do.
That's fine.
All right, thanks for hanging in there with us, everybody. I'm gonna turn screen sharing back over to Dr. McCluskey. You should already be able to do that, I think, Katie.
Let's see.
All right, so you're gonna get an email from me that has the link to the PowerPoint and the link to whatever videos are shared too. So thanks for
Great.
hanging in there.
So in a nutshell, you know, the things that you can be doing at home to support your children with mathematics is, like we spoke about earlier, when you're out and about counting things. If you're baking at home, just talk out loud about what you're doing and what you're measuring, any of those types of things, that even counting steps, anytime that you can count and do things in the world around you. And as parents, what I found is the more we talk about our thinking out loud, like I said earlier, you know, they're sponges. Their learning rate is so incredible at this age, as you all know. So anytime that you can share your thinking about anything mathematical, counting, just that number sense would be really helpful.
Just to give you a little bit more details about what we focus on in math in kindergarten, this is a really easy to read chart. It starts with our major clusters, and those major clusters have the squares next to them. So things that we work on in kindergarten is students knowing the numbers' names and how to count in a sequence, counting the number of objects, comparing numbers, understanding that addition is putting things together and subtraction is taking it apart. And then also working with numbers 11 to 19. So some of those more difficult teen numbers that our students tend to struggle with, we spend extra time in to ensure that our students master those skills. And then some supporting clusters that are identified in kindergarten is classifying objects and counting the number of objects in a category, and analyzing, comparing, creating, and composing shapes. And then the additional clusters that our students are exposed to in kindergarten is describing and comparing measurable attributes and identifying and describing shapes.
And really quick, one thing I want to reiterate to you all is that, you know, you're maybe sitting at home thinking, well, you know, my child can't do these things. Keep in mind that those are things we will work on in kindergarten. So that was a sneak peek as to the things that you know, we'll work on to give you an idea. So if you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, right, exactly. So I think if you're working with them on recognizing numbers and saying their numbers and being able to count, I think that will be really helpful. Okay. Great. All right. So science and social studies, what we do with these is we embed them oftentimes within the content areas of math and literacy throughout the week. There may be certain times where we do teach them separately, but oftentimes it's embedded within literacy and within our literacy standards, just because it gives it a context and reinforces those early literacy skills. So we integrate those throughout. And then what we call specials, art, music, physical education, or PE, or gym, as we called it, many of us when we were in school. And then digital literacy, and LMC is Learning Media Center or library, if you will, and that's experienced throughout the week. And each of our districts do that a little bit differently. And as you get more familiar with our programs, you'll learn how we do those throughout a week. But we do embed those skills within the week as well, just to really work on the whole child and grow them. So that's how the specials work.
And then the million-dollar question is, what will next year look like? And both districts are sincerely committed to hopefully bringing all of our students back into our classrooms. And I think the key to that is we're still waiting on the word from the CDC, from the DuPage Health Department, what the guidance from ISBE is. So we're continuing to plan as if our students are going to be back into our schools, and normal, I'm not even sure is a word that we use anymore, but as normal as possible. And we're going to then work through those guidance, work through the guidance from ISBE, the federal and the state government. There's a lot that goes into those decisions, and really we have to work side by side with the CDC and the DuPage Health Department to ensure, the safety of our students, the safety of our teachers, and really to have that focus on learning, which is what we all want. So I think there's going to be more to come on this topic, as we move through the rest of the school year. But we did want you all to know that our commitment is to try to get our students back into our schools full time, but some of that is going to be dependent on what happens in these next couple months and where the guidance goes.
Just really quickly on that previous slide, ISBE, just in case you are new to our schools, is the Illinois State Board of Education, which guides everything that Dr. McCluskey and I do. So that is that's the Illinois State Board of Education. So I just wanted to let you know what that acronym is. And I just want to reiterate that, yes, our ideal is to get kiddos back in schools as quickly as possible. And, you know, I know that district to district, we're constantly in communication. Our superintendents are constantly in communication as well. So that is ideally our goal. And I think possibly some of you are wondering, well, gosh, is my kiddo on pace to be in kindergarten? And I think I just want to reiterate to you that globally, everybody is experiencing what we're all experiencing. And I know that in education and what we do in education is we are going to meet your child where they are at and we will grow them. And that is our purpose. That is what gets us up and moving every single day and our passion. And so if you're, you know, having doubts, keeping our children with their age appropriate peers as much as possible is the ideal. If that's something that as a family you decide isn't something that you know, that as a family, you'll obviously make decisions about your children. But I just want you to know that even if your child can't count, you know, 1 to 30, or they don't know all of their colors perfectly, or all of those things, that we will meet your children where they're at and we will grow them and grow them and grow them for years to come. So sorry about next slide, Dr. McCluskey. So routines and schedules, right? Did we skip a slide? So it's a family decision that you'll make. Our districts provide this to every student: routines and schedules, communication and collaboration with families. As we spoke about, our partnership is critical to your success over the child's elementary career. Interventions and additional supports with students when needed. And we do have interventionists that work with our students to provide layers of support for kiddos. And then resources for students and families to meet individual needs. So this is what we strive for each and every day. You know, I'm proud to work alongside Dr. McCluskey to do this work in our community.
And then this last slide is just an opportunity for you to visit our websites. Again, you'll be given this PowerPoint to have easy access to our websites, and then also to be able to sign up for the district news in each of our districts. So if you are going to be going to District 41, if you click on that link, District 41 News, you can put in your email address and you'll get all of the news regarding District 41. And then if you will be a member of District 89, you can click on the sign up for District 89 and you can do the same. And that news typically comes out, I would say, a few times a month. You would see that. Also, if you are new to District 41 or 89, we ask that you let your schools know that you're going to be coming. Registration for District 41 starts on the 15th of February, and it starts on the 10th for District 89. The best way for us to know about you is for you to contact us and let us know that you have a kindergartner, so that we can make sure you're getting all of the information, you're registered, your child's invited to meet and greet, and we can start their time in kindergarten. So with that said, I think we both just really want to say that we're really looking forward to getting to know you, knowing your family, knowing your child. If there's anything that either one of us can do, please reach out. Our emails are on that first slide, that introductory slide. And don't hesitate to email us or give us a call. We're always more than happy to walk you through any step of the way for kindergarten and beyond.
Absolutely.
All right, so if you are just now joining us, we are recording this program. So if you missed any of the content ahead of this point, please know that we have recorded it and it will be coming to you at some point, or you could look for it on our social media feeds at the Glen Ellyn Library. And then we will send the PowerPoint along also. And then Sue, Katie, Jill, what am I missing? And then questions. If you asked us a question, if you sent me an email with questions, please know that I have forwarded those to Dr. McCluskey and Dr. Kingsfield, and they will reply based on what your question is. So we can really give you a personalized response that best fits you and the needs of your family and your future kindergartners. So make sure that you register your kids for kindergarten. That is super important. That's like one of the main takeaways here. They need to know who you are. Otherwise, you know, they don't know that you exist. So you need to tell them. Sue?
Katie, do you want to tell them about your club at the library for
Yes,
reading?
I will. So Dr. McCluskey and Dr. Kingsfield mentioned that reading is so important, and you know, I agree with that. And we have a lot of things at the library to help support that for you. We have a program called 1K Club where we challenge kids to read 1,000 books before kindergarten, and at every 100th level, they earn prizes along the way. And then this is one of the only programs, if not the only program, where your child's name will be put in a library book that then is part of our collection. So it's in honor of Soraya, who has finished 1,000 books before kindergarten. And then it says that that's her accomplishment in the book. We also have prizes for parents along the way because we know parents that you are the ones doing the work for that program. So we have some things for you there as well. We also have things called play packs. And these play packs are really great to help build those social emotional skills. They have imaginative play kits, they have dress up kits, they have dolls, they have kits to help your kids learn how to tie their shoes and how to snap their buttons and things like that. So if you're looking for resources to help teach your kids those types of skills, definitely check out the play pack collection. We also have a collection of American Girl dolls. This is our new greatest thing. And you might wonder why we have a collection of dolls, and it's because of that play piece. That play is so important, and they really need to get as much play as they can because that's how our littles learn, right? And then 2 more things about the library here. We have a collection of books called Stack Packs, and if you come into the youth department on your right, there will be bundles of books. So there will be like a bundle with 5 titles in it around a theme. And this is where you want to go if you just want somebody to pick out your books for you and you don't want to talk to anybody, you just want to come in and grab them and peace out. That's your area, okay? So know that we have those for you. We're constantly filling it and we're constantly changing it. And then we also have something called Your Next Read. And this is a form that you can fill out on our website, and you can ask for personalized recommendations from me and my colleagues for your child or even for you. So you can tell us, you know, I'm looking for the newest, greatest book on trucks, or I want to read books like Bridgerton or whatever books like whatever the next Netflix series is. So know that you can fill out those forms both for you and your child, because it's also important for your child to see you reading and for your child to see you enjoying reading. That's a 2-way street. So if you're looking for ways to model reading, we can definitely help you with that, and we can help you find the books that you are looking for. We also have something new in our play pack collection, and they're Let's Talk Race kits. And these are items and books and worksheets to help you have conversations with your child about race and what that means and why some of those conversations are so hard. And these tools are to help guide you through those conversations. So if you're looking for tools on how to talk to your kids about race, definitely check out the Let's Talk Race kits. We have some for preschoolers, we have some for elementary school kids, and then I think we have some for middle school kids as well. So we've got a lot at the library for you. We are open. You can come check out things in our building. You can use the drive-up window if you're not comfortable coming into the building. So I promise we have something for you. The library isn't what it was, 10 years ago. We're really trying to meet you where you are and to make things as easy and accessible for you. All right. That is the end of my library spiel. Thank you, Sue, for reminding me. Oh, and one more thing. Summer reading is coming. I've just started planning it. So we'll still have summer reading. Our theme is about color and Frida Kahlo and diversity. So if that's your jam, sign up for summer reading.
Just thank you to everyone who attended. A special thanks to the library for their technology help and Miss Katie, Dr. Kingsfield, Dr. McCluskey. Thank you to all the parents and educators who are here. Again, this is something our preschool just feels passionate about giving to our community each year, and actually the community is you. So thank you so much for joining us and making this evening a reality, and grateful we could record this for those who were not able to attend in person.
Absolutely. So if you've asked us questions, know that we will get to you. We aren't ignoring you. And then we're going to give you about 12 more minutes back in your day here. How 12 more minutes.
Nice.
All right. So thank you so much for joining us today. Look for the PowerPoint and the recording. They'll be coming from my email. So if you don't hear from me in a couple of days, definitely reach out to me. So I think that's all we have for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Great to see you all. Have a good evening.